Welcome to the Block and Tackle Show, hosted by Carl Block. Carl is a partner in the law firm of Loeb & Loeb here in Los Angeles, California. He will be tackling some of the biggest issues in business today. Listen, learn, and enjoy as he leaves no stone unturned during deep conversations with some of today's most amazing business leaders. Welcome to the show.
Hello, welcome to the Block and Tackle Show. I'm your host, Carl Block, and today we have a very distinguished and interesting guest from Paris, Ksenia Duarte, who is the CEO of EX9, which we will talk all about in the show, and the amazing technology that she and her company have created in the logistics space for logistics as a service. It's really wonderful. You'll see the video. We'll talk about it. It's amazing. So Ksenia is been in France for a very long time, has an executive MBA from Institut Mines Telecom in France, and she's also been affiliated with Femme Angels, Business Angels in Paris. But Ksenia, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Carl, for your exciting invitation and this nice opportunity to speak about myself and also about the company. We are very happy, to be here. I say we because the team is behind me. And by the way, we have met at CES in Las Vegas, and that was very, very amazing for us. And yes, I'm from France. So live show from Paris.
That's exactly right. Okay, so why don't you tell the audience a little bit about how you got into robotics and the service and the technology?
I'm coming from telecommunication, finally. And I, after having been graduated, I worked 10 years for Stellantis. So I somehow brought telecommunication to the car. That was the very, very beginning of connectivity. And then I started to work with autonomous driving since 2014 for applications and use cases like public transport. And that's how I met a colleague of mine and who became the co-founder of EX9. The company will launch together in 2021 with the purpose of bringing the autonomous driving technology into industrial applications and especially logistics.
That's great. And not something that I think a lot of people in the autonomous technology field are focused on. I think most are focused on mobility applications for consumers or otherwise. So that's a really, really interesting idea. Let's talk about the company. It's headquartered in Paris.
Yes. So the company launched, we have launched in early 2021, and we are located in close to Paris, in the south of Paris. But we have also a workshop and engineering center in the south of France.
Okay. So let's now talk a little bit about the autonomous service. And I think you had made a suggestion to me that we just watch the video of the product so we can see or how it is used and take a look at it. So right now we're going to play a short video. It's approximately 1 minute and 50 seconds so that the audience can see how the technology works. So as you can see in the audience, you can see that this is a controlled shunting, unmanned transport that will allow you to take a trailer or cargo bed. It will literally be able to take it up to the dock so that they can be loaded and unloaded. And it's all there's no human being that's next to the truck. You can see that or the bed, the cargo trailer. There's no human being. This is all done by automation and as a service. So, Ksenia, because people don't know really a lot about the logistics business unless they're in it. They think you can just get into a truck and drive a truck to a warehouse, and then magically it just gets unloaded, which they probably think the same thing with trains too, but whatever. And so, but there's really an issue and both from liability, expense, etc., with literally bringing a trailer and docking it into a platform. So tell us how this works.
Yeah, sure. Look, today in terminals, mainly in yards, it could work in two ways. First, the truck driver comes to the site with the trailer full or empty, and the trailer, the truck driver docks the trailer directly to the gate, to the bay, right? And then the truck driver is waiting for 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, when the trailer will be unloaded and loaded. And that's a lot of waste of time, right? That's why the logistic operators today prefer to work in what they call drop and hook preloading. That means that the truck driver arrives to the site, leave the trailer full or empty, pick up the other one, and just leave the site, right? And then there is some internal movements which are done mainly with a yard tractor. So that's more or less the same truck, but specifically allocated to move only on site, right? And this machine on this vehicle is manually driven for now and mainly diesel. And these movements are done from parking to dock or to bay, right? And then when it reaches loaded or unloaded, from the dock to the parking. And as soon as the second trailer is ready, the truck driver leaves the site with this trailer full for the next step, right? So the main reason today the main goal for logistic operators is to decongestionate the base at maximum, make it in more smooth and optimized way, but also decarbonize, so make it like carbon-free at maximum, and also struggling with driver shortage. They are looking for some optimum solutions, I would say, to make it more efficient, carbon-free, and
sure. But basically, instead of having the entire waiting time, the entire inefficiencies of the waiting time for bringing the trailer in and out of the docking area, and also then having a delay in loading and unloading, that your product, without a lot of fossil fuel generated machines doing this, can automatically and electronically with the programming bring it in a precise way, so that there's no safety issue, there's no damage, and so it's faster and more efficient, and therefore and also less person power intensive, given that there are shortages of drivers. So you have a very efficient way of dealing with the logistic of loading and unloading trailers in the docking area. It also helps, of course, because you're not using fossil fuels to actually power any of this, that it's also carbon neutral.
Yeah, yes, that's very great synthesis.
Okay, so we know from the video that you can do this with trailers and in docking areas for loading and unloading, and again, faster and carbon efficient. What other areas do you envision that this service can be used using your technology to be able to actually get the same efficiencies, both in terms of the logistical and the environmental ones? Where do you see this being used?
Yeah, thank you very much for the great question. Look, yeah, first application is for sure yards, like in supply chain or express, but that could be used for industrial supply chain, because finally we have some end users who manage the storage of raw materials and then like kind of shuttle to the production line. And then when they cut back with the final product, so there is kind of movements in between the storage zone to production. So this is a real application. We are in touch with some industrials here in Europe. Then it's also about multimodal freight, which could be rail. We have some requests in that. That could be also ports, even if we have some I would say issues here about dockers, especially in France. So that's how we work also together today with end users, somehow showcasing that the benefits of such technologies is to bring people, to move them out of harsh routine work to something like more exciting. So yeah, ports and different freight zones like air cargo, rail cargo, that could be also an option or a use case. And something that we really believe is also about the storage or treatment of waste, because yeah, for sure, for humans it's not like very exciting job, and we truly believe that we can bring the technology which will offer people like better work environment.
Understood. So, and let's break that down, because you talked about a lot of industry segments. Pretty much when you're talking about manufacturing and you're having to take raw materials and then take them to a processing area, these can be thousands and thousands of kilos of materials, or taking things off of a freight train that is transporting goods, or taking things from a dock in a port area where somebody has gone into the port of Le Havre, for example, or anywhere in Los Angeles or New York. There are there are significant loads that weigh a lot. And right now it takes a lot of human power and a lot of carbon powered machinery to do all this.
Yeah,
and as you have said, frankly, these are not glamorous jobs. Most people don't go to school saying this is necessarily what I want to make my career in. And yet, without logistical transport, how do products get into grocery stores? How do products, how are everything from this PC I'm looking at to every consumer product to every other business product, how do they get made without logistics? And so what you're saying is it's disruptive in a good way, because it will be more efficient, and more, you don't have to worry about the labor issues. You don't have to worry about the safety to the labor people, because some of these things can weigh tons. And there can be accidents that could be very harmful. This takes all that out of the equation, doesn't it?
Yes, definitely. And I can even tell you more, because we spend a lot of time working on with end users, because for us, it's not only about the piece of technology. For us, what is important is how it will be used and how it will be integrated into the current process. And we spend a lot of time to interview end users to better understand what are their pain points today, how they perceive this kind of technologies. And one of end users told us that that will support them offering a better quality of work for their people, because today they are outdoor, making like sometimes less than 100 meters of distance, with bad weather conditions, in very hot temperature, day and night. So yeah, finally, it's also about like making people, offering them more exciting, more valuable job. And also, yeah, for sure, it's also about safety. Because yeah, I mean, the technology, I mean, the robots, vehicles are integrating different perception technologies with computer vision, but also with like lidars and cameras and different other technologies we used to use to see in any conditions. And this is really important. And then also about like being kind of disciplined, right? Because yeah, finally the robotic stuff will be just programmed to do the job, to do it right, and to respect pedestrian zones, to respect speed limits, and the stuff like that.
Again,
so yes, for sure, it's about safety too.
No, listen, that's really important. I'm also struck by what you said. As you know, there are many businesses that don't necessarily, they push product on people. This is what we offer. What you're doing is, as you said, you're going to your end users and say, what do you need? What do you need, so we know what to design? That's the beauty of being at a smaller entrepreneurial company. But I think that's actually great. And obviously, the more efficient this is, you know, we here, and I know you in France are also dealing with inflation. Anything that can reduce the cost and increase the efficiency of the supply chain will actually hopefully lead to either lower costs or lower rate of cost increases. So that's also really good too. It must be exciting to you to be a pioneer in these areas.
Yes, yeah, definitely. And by the way, once again, we spent time to somehow reach our understanding, our knowledge about the supply chain pain points and how they calculate the total cost of ownership of the same operations today, and how finally the technology could be helpful here, but also I would say, yeah, to reach the reduction of costs, I mean, cutting costs, but also to offer efficiency, less waiting time, making like some stuff more smoother, more fluid, but also reduce the space, by the way, because finally, when you are preparing some cargo inside and the dock is not ready yet or is not empty, the operators need to put the cargo into a kind of tampon zone or marshalling area. But from the other side, if the dock is free, because the drop and hook or preloading will go smoother and faster, that means they don't need anymore first to put it on marshalling area. So spend time to put it again to the dock later. first, and second, it's also making it smaller, the warehouse, because you don't need anymore the marshalling area.
Understood. And listen, all of that makes sense, because if you don't need a marshalling area, or you need less of one, and you have less people involved in touching it to move from point A to point B, it still will ultimately reduce costs too. It'll be more efficient, and there'll be more product out there, and that's likely to reduce costs. So when do you think, and I mean, if you're not comfortable saying, it's fine, but when do you think you will sort of see your product being used in the manufacturing space, or in, with rail yards or ports? Do you see that in the next year, 2 years, or when do you see this happening?
Look, that's also coming somehow with investors.
Sure, of course.
But yeah, we're right now we made the first pilot case within DHL site in France. We are ongoing for a new one, or a couple of new one before the summer this year. The fact, what is like really important, is not only making pilots for making pilots. The fact is the industrialization of the full concept. It's for sure about the machine, or about the robot, but that's also about the full story regarding the end user process. So we work on both fields, on both sides, right? Making it happen like faster. Hopefully, we will be on like in situ piloting, I would say, for longer duration before 2025. So like entering progressively towards service application, as our job is to bring the managed transport as a service. But we really want and targeting to work with end users, making it step by step, because the level of readiness for everybody is important for I would say, for the service being properly integrated into the current process, and that's will be like evaluating or like moving step by step.
Okay, so hopefully 2025 we're going to see some of this. And it sounds really, really exciting. You must be very, very excited. You and Anzo must be very excited about it. So you're doing a lot in Western Europe right now, it sounds like. What other markets do you think you're going to expand to?
That's very, very good question. Very tricky one, because like we were at CES in Las Vegas. That's how we met in early 2024, right? A lot of requests coming from there. Very big corporations are pretty interested about. And yeah, that's not only about North America, but a lot of people from Korea, by the way, some South American countries also of interest. Look, the fact is we have to be focused. So for us, for sure, starting to sell in Europe is like good starting point, because we're already there. And next step will be the US for us, or North America for sure, because we have a lot of marks of interest to that, and we think that we can bring something innovative, but something that like check boxes regarding cutting costs, like making happier end users, and also to decarbonize. Making it like carbon free, because we consider that's very, very important. So hopefully we will come soon.
Okay, so well, look, I really appreciate your thoughts and on this, and it's really, really exciting to have, small businesses come on from time to time with good products and good innovations. So I'm tempted to want to tell you that love to see you come back and talk to me, in maybe right after CES next year, and you can tell me how it's going. DHL has a huge market share in Europe, don't they?
Yes, they are. They are not only, by the way, not only in Europe. They have some operations, I would say, all over the world, because finally that's a key supply chain actor. So they're very happy and proud to collaborate with such a big and innovative company. They are pretty friendly with us because, yes, still we're a startup. But I would like highly thank the company staff and their open-mindedness, which is really important at this stage. And yeah, for sure, we will be happy to be back to next CES and making business also with the US. And I would like to thank you very much for your attention, all these questions. And yeah, hopefully we will meet soon again in the US too.
That'd be great. Okay, so I really appreciate your coming. And to all of our viewers and listeners, I think you're gonna love the video. You're gonna love thinking about all the ramifications of autonomous robot technology as a service. In a myriad of applications. Most people never think about this, but anybody who is in logistics, it's actually fascinating. So thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thanks for tuning in. If you want more info on the show, please visit blockandtackleshow.com, and you can also email me at carl@blockandtackleshow.com. Thanks for tuning in.